Hey everyone, welcome to All About the Joy. This is the Private Lounge, and today we're talking to one of my good friends, Joel Lava. He has been on the show quite a few times in the past couple of years, but I thought we would just have a little conversation with him so you could get to know him better. And maybe he inspires you a bit. I learned a lot about him today, which was weird because he's been a good friend for quite a long time. Enjoy. No, it's okay. You can do whatever you want, but you're such a dork. You're making fun of my background. Is that what you're doing?
I was not making fun of it. I'm merely saying now that you're becoming a paragon of the podcasting industry, it seems like you could have a background befitting of your greatness. Whereas I'm not that.
Of my greatness. Okay. I like how you fix that up. So, okay. How are you feeling about last night, politics-wise?
It's just like, we went Clinton, W, Obama, Trump, Biden, Trump. It's just like this cycle of just like is just, it's kind of expected at this point. We're a sick, mentally ill country of ignorant assholes.
I love that you just said that. I was really proud of New York, though. I was so glad that he won. Mandami. How do you say his name? Mandani.
I follow Black Twitter, basically, and man.
Of course you do.
So much Black Twitter is like anti-Mondani, and it's just like, I'm just like, Jesus, man. Like,
can I just tell you that you shouldn't even be on Twitter? But okay, like I left Twitter.
I'm on Blue Sky. I call it Black Twitter, but it's Blue Sky.
Oh, no, I don't use Blue.
It's just the amount of hand-wringing over this guy, primarily over what he has said about Israel in any direction. I'm like, is he running for Secretary of State? Like, this dude's running for New York City mayor, and then just the hysteria over wanting to do a pilot program of a couple free grocery stores. Like, he's not, and it's all bogus when half the time they're saying this guy is going to destroy the great city of New York, and the other half are times that same people are saying this guy has no experience, he's in over his head, and he's going to be overwhelmed. It's like, well, which is it? Is he? So I don't know. Just the hysteria over this dude is just like,
oh, I was glad to see it. I got rid of a whole bunch of Facebook people that I saw last night saying things like you probably know one of these people. I don't know who he is. I don't know who he is.
I know the name.
He wrote something like, I can't believe after 25 years of 9/11, New York elected a Muslim. And I was like, and you're blocked. Wow. I was like, I'm out. Like, what is wrong with, like, how do you not know racism? Like, what? Like,
oh my God, yeah.
He's the son of a very famous woman filmmaker whose name escapes me at the moment.
Yeah, she did.
Namesake, right? She did. But she did like these 3 movies. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just weird. I don't know. Like, what is wrong?
Well, that's because we're a mentally ill country, and there's become a new permission structure to be racist. And I think, to a certain degree, it's nice when people can be real and aren't hiding behind a facade. Okay. But leadership can take people as mob mentality to do good or bad. And we've gone past the line of just lifting a bit of the veil where people can be more honest to taking people into a place of hate and hysterical mob mentality hate. And we've gone way past the facade line of honesty. And people are just like, a good leader inspires our better angels. And that is not what leadership is doing now. And people are being stirred up, just like I'm not saying to the extreme of Nazi Germany, but those same Germans who got swept up into this, like, kill the impure people, literally 20 years later are the most progressive country, like people are.
Germany is. For sure.
I'm an anthropologist. Like, people at the base level are all the same, despite our ethnicity and culture. We're all driven by the same bonds of humanity, and that can be taken by humanity looks to a leader. Most humanity wants to follow, and a leader can take us into a place of great goodness, or it can take us to a bad place. And anyway,
who would be somebody that you would say is a good leader in like the past 30 years that you would say did a good job of leading anywhere in the world?
Well, you mean in any sector or in politics?
Just as an example. Yeah, as an example of what you just said, because I think that was kind of profound.
Well, I think the easy answer is Obama. I think Biden was a better got more done in 2 years than Obama did in 8. But Obama definitely appealed to our better angels. I mean, Obama is the perfect example of there's so many think tanks and pundits and hired consultants about what a Democrat needs to say. And part of my whole spiel, I make on my videos is it really doesn't matter what they say. It's that whatever they say, they believe it. They stand on their courage of their convictions. So the Democratic Party could easily be led by a conservative moderate or by a progressive liberal. Either is totally possible if that person is charismatic, strong, and doesn't back down and throws counter punches. Because Democrats are good at throwing a single punch, and then when they get punched back, they're like, "Oh, it hurts when I get in a fight."
I know you get really annoyed at politicians who don't fight back.
Yeah.
So are you loving Gavin Newsom, or you think he's
Gavin Newsom's interesting because, man, it's like he's got that smarmy. Just physically, he's smarmy.
Yeah.
I have a friend from college.
Wait. You say smarmy, and most women are like, yum. But go ahead.
No, like that slick, greasy, like snake oil salesman kind of. That's just physically his traits. And I have a friend from college who kind of came off that way. And it was I like, as someone with like a monotone voice, etc. Like my friend in college was just his way. Like physically, that's how he sounded. And when you got to know him, you knew he was like this genuine, really. So I think Newsom, man, he's just got. You're running the fourth largest economy in the world. There's going to be so much that people pick at you. Like a lot of liberals go at him because of his stance on trans issues isn't progressive enough. And then, of course, there's the homeless problem, and then our education's not the best. But then there's so much really good stuff in California. But as far as like a chance to run for president, I don't know, man. The whole, just the homelessness thing and crime.
Well, look, this is where I kind of argue with people about Gavin Newsom. It's the same thing they did with Barack Obama, is this kind of idea that everybody's perfect and can fix everything in one moment. The homeless problem is not completely Gavin Newsom's fault. He inherited it. You know
I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm saying,
I'm just saying it's like everything is being, like having what I hate about the Democratic Party, and I left the Democratic Party, is this idea that everybody has to be perfect. Everybody has to be perfect, and they have to, every box has to be checked. And that's why I'm so proud of what happened in New York. I don't agree with 95% of probably what the newly elected mayor agrees with. I really don't. Yeah. But I was for him 100%. And if I lived and was a resident of New York, I would have voted for him, because that's what we need. Young people, smart people. They may not it may not check every box I believe in, but I know that it, like what you said earlier, he has this conviction, he believes it, and
I actually agree with you. I think that kind of is the reason I'm most excited for Mamdani too, is because he doesn't check every box.
Right.
He literally is charismatic. He stands on the courage of his convictions. He doesn't back down and equivocate and capitulate. He's like, this is where I'm at. And not only am I saying, he doesn't even say, this is where I'm at, take it or leave it. He's like, this is where I'm at, and I love where I'm at because I think this is the best way, and I'm passionately excited about what I believe. Not like, but like Newsom, I'm not blaming him for the homelessness, but I'm saying on a national race, he would get tarred with so many negative traits, whereas Obama was a blank slate, for better or for worse.
Oh my God. I say this with love. You guys really, and I say you guys, I am shook at how much you guys revise what you remember of Barack Obama running that race. I remember it like it was yesterday.
I do too.
It was not a blank slate. Are you out of your mind? Oh my God.
What do you mean? Yes, he was. He had no legislative accomplishments.
But that's not what I thought you meant by blank slate. It wasn't okay. I thought you meant like there was no issues whatsoever with him. Oh my God, they were going after him every 5 seconds.
No, he was a black terrorist.
Right, Muslim, right? And he was like,
that's what I tell my kids. I tell my kids, if you want to understand how bad 2008 was as a country, we were willing to, instead of electing a white war hero, we're willing to elect a black Muslim terrorist. That's how. And
he's not. For the people who are watching this, he is not.
No, but that was the fear. That was the fear of.
Well, that's what they put on him. That's what the Republican and conservative.
No, he was a blank slate legislatively.
Okay, got it. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I actually love this conversation, even though I didn't really want to talk about politics with you. But you grew up in Texas. I'm sorry about that. Do you miss Texas? How do you feel about your state in comparison to California?
Well, it's funny. I did make a video on this too.
I
I
didn't
miss
see it.
I miss Texas, metaphorically and literally. I grew up in a completely different Texas. I grew up in a Texas with Democratic governors and Democratic senators and Democratic House representatives. Barbara Jordan was the first Black representative. Um, and I grew up in Austin, which was,
Yeah,
so
the coolest place in Texas.
yeah, it's where, I grew up in the Richard Linklater's Slacker Austin. Yeah. And I grew up in the Austin that hadn't had its coolness commodified yet, like the South by Southwest and the music scene and the film scene and the hipster scene. That was all just what it was. And as soon as I went off to college and then I came back and we landed at the airport and it's like, keep Austin weird. And like all this like official campaigns of, it was like, it had been taken away. And now I go back to Austin and there's a little smog and there's traffic and there's places I used to drive by that were like forests are now just, strip malls, and it's just not the same city anymore. And obviously, tragically, just, healthcare, education, politics, is just, it's insane. It's like freaking, it's literally the closest thing to Afghanistan. I don't know, man. It's like,
wait, what? Why are you exaggerating like that?
No, I mean, like, as far as Sharia law, like, their adherence to like being anti-abortion, and their bounty laws about finding someone who, getting people to report on other people driving over state lines to get an abortion, like just the most crazy extreme stuff. And
I didn't know that. Are you for real?
Yeah, that was the bounty law. That was like under when Biden was president.
Oh my God.
So yeah, Texas was amazing. And I grew up in a Texas is truly the independent spirit. It's the only state in the country that was its own country. In 1836, we take 7th grade Texas history. That's where the Six Flags comes from, the theme park, because Texas has lived under Six Flags. I can name them for you if you want, but it's that independent streak. Also, even when it came to like the Confederacy, this is where I was ignorant as a kid. Like I really thought it was states' rights when I was a kid, because in Texas is all about, like, there were secession movements when I was a kid. They never went anywhere. But Texas literally, is heritage is we were our own republic. We don't need the rest of this fucking country. And there's like this badass, cool cowboy thing that goes along with it. And there were people who were daughters of the Confederacy when I was a kid. And I just thought that was the same as daughters of the Revolution. But I now see it differently. But just growing up there's like this cool, independent, like, fuck you, we don't need anyone else spirit. And it was democratic. So it was a great place to grow up, but not so great. My daughter doesn't ever want to set foot there.
I agree with your daughter. I've been there like, I don't know, maybe 10 times. And I have no interest in
my friends who live
Texas
there.
Texas and Florida to me are like,
sadly, my friends I grew up with there are, not wanting to be there. And what's also interesting is growing up in Austin, as like a high schooler, I was really not involved, but very aware of like local politics, like mayoral level, city council politics, and a little state, but not a lot of national. Wow. And it's really interesting because
that's actually cool.
Yeah, it was the state capital and the Austin city. And my buddy from high school is now the county judge, which is basically more powerful than the mayor. But now that I'm an adult and I live in California, I couldn't tell you anything about Burbank or LA politics. And I know very little about California, and I'm like all about national politics. But that's also a reflection of the times we live in.
I was just going to say that isn't, but you do know who represents you in Congress, though, right?
I do. I'm thinking of running against her.
Are you really? Are you going to get into politics?
I've just been playing with it because I'm so upset.
Joel!
No, I'm a single issue guy, though, because it's Laura Friedman. She's actually, by all accounts, good, but she's part of just the old 20th century style technocrat who isn't like, one of my things that gets me really angry right now is, and I have a letter, I don't have it around, but I wrote her a letter saying every day our president commits multiple impeachable offenses, and all you leaders do is report on it. Like all these speeches by our Democratic leaders saying he is breaking the Constitution and he's criminally, he's taking bribes, and they say all this, and then I'm like, cool, I didn't elect you to be a reporter. I have reporters who tell me this. Like, what are you doing? And the only way to stop our president is through impeachment. And I know Congress can't do it because of the blah, blah, blah. But if you're not even calling,
we don't have any power. That's why
you've got to call for it. You need to be filing articles of impeachment every day, or else what are you doing? That's like, and right. So that drives me nuts. So I want to run, if only just to highlight that thing. But I can't
believe you would want to run. I find that.
Well, I don't. I've never have, but I'm very angry. As you know, I'm very politically active, and I'm out in the streets every week. And so I'm very activated, and I'm just.
But you've always been very activated in politics. Yes. You supported Joe Biden's run.
I've been making political videos since the late 90s.
Yeah, you've always been. How does that? It's so funny because you're part of Hollywood, right? You're a director, and but you are. You work in the industry, yeah, and sure. So many more people are afraid of ever showing their personal side. I mean, does it ever conflict with you getting a job at all? Or
I mean, my career is basically non-existent, so you could argue it hasn't helped.
Do you think it's because of that or because of AI?
Oh, I think it's because of a variety of reasons.
Really?
I mean, I'm just telling you what I was told. Don't freak out on me.
I'm not going to freak out.
I was told with my reel, my portfolio of work of commercials and music videos and promos, that if I was a 30-year-old black woman, I would be a millionaire. But because I'm a middle-aged white guy, I will not get hired.
Why do you think I would yell at you about that?
Because it's a racial thing, and
I'm saying that's what's happening.
I'm saying that's one aspect. The industry is dying. Like, as I've been predicting, Hollywood dying. Like, I've been since 2023. I've been predicting in 2027, pretty much no Hollywood will exist, except for like auteur specific things. Like, AI is going to completely wipe out Hollywood.
But you love AI. You're one of the first people I saw using AI.
Now you don't? I have cultivated a perception that I'm into AI.
I love how you just said that. What does that mean?
Well, I like being on set with actors and art directors and set decorators and all that.
But you're learning AI so that, you were using AI for a while. Am I crazy?
No, I'm using AI, but it's like, there's just no thrill in just like writing some text prompts and then waiting. And anyone can do it. Like, my skills and what I have in here are pretty much no longer necessary. And that was very, very depressing. That happened earlier this year when Google VO came out.
Yeah,
because I saw someone create a ChatGPT script that's basically like a Mad Libs, where it's a questionnaire. What genre do you want? How many characters? Blah, blah, blah. What location? What lighting style? And then it just spit out literally a Hollywood production level scene of like a dude in the wilderness walking through the snow. And then he goes into an old cabin, and all the camera angles are cool, and the lighting and it looks real. So I got into a debate with my friend he edits television, and I was saying it's going to be over in 2027. And I was like, I don't like the term AI slop because it blows me away what people call slop. And he's like to create a fake person talking in a scene before AI would take a team of people weeks, right, and it would still have that uncanny valley. Now, that exact same scene that would take highest level professionals weeks is literally being done with a text prompt in like 5 seconds. And that is so mind-blowing when people call it slop. Or my editor friend, who really, he's great, and he studies performance and how things tie together. He's like, yeah, but the performances, they're not. I'm like, dude, look where we were a year ago. Yeah.
I think people are using that as like a way to make themselves feel better. Like, oh, there's deadness in the eyes. And I'm like, I just believed what I just saw.
I also point out to like King Kong in 1927.
Yes.
The Ray Harryhausen.
Yeah.
But the audiences ate that up. Or just go back and watch a movie from the 1980s, like a VFX. Like, you watch it now and you're like, oh, that's like some weird VFX.
Right. Like, you can watch any of the Star Wars, the first ones, you know what I mean?
We ate that up, and like, we accept it. And if we go see anything now, but see, now we're not going to go to theaters. We're like, some 14-year-old in his bedroom is going to output a feature film that took him like 2 weeks to make, and it's going to become viral. And there'll be a couple things in it where like, oh, okay, yeah, that was AI, but we're going to overlook it, and that's that. And it's a game. That's why I think Hollywood's going to be the next coal industry.
So what do you think? Do you think it's going to? Wow, so you're seeing it on the negative end of it. Do you not see?
It's negative for me, not for humanity.
So what are you planning to do? So what do you?
I don't know. I don't have any other skill. I have really good management skills. I'm really good at managing teams of people,
right.
and I'm talking teams of sensitive artists. So
right.
I could easily manage any other industry. But I don't know. I've looked into like becoming an ER nurse, but that takes 2 years to train, and right. I don't have 2 years of no income. So, but I've been pretty lazy about it because I honestly think this is coming. I think the whole commercial world is going to have no more shoots. Why would a brand that has $1 million to spend on marketing buy 2 commercials for $500,000 when right. it can get 95% of the quality for $50,000, and then it has another $900,000 left to micro target across social media platforms? We're already seeing it. Like,
why wouldn't you see that your skills could be? And don't get mad at me, but like that your skills could be used with AI, and you could.
I do, but I think it's going to be a drastically reduced number. Anyone can pick up a pencil and write or type on a keyboard, but they don't do it. They still hire writers, you know? Like, there's still going to be people needed to execute these things in volume. It's just, we're not going to need location scouts or casting right. or grips, or VFX industry is completely gone.
But why couldn't you be a consultant to an AI firm that is doing it?
First of all, you have a lot of successful working directors already who could easily just port to overseeing a team of 3 text prompters. And so it's just going to be even more competitive. And so the chances of me, I think the real,
I'm just asking. We're all thinking of these things.
I'm saying it's all going to be just gone, and there's just going to be a few people left. And those few people are going to be ultra competitive. And I actually think one of the ways to set a person self apart is to be one of those self creators who make their own content. And I just don't, because I have kids and I'm working, I don't have time, and this free time I do have, I'm putting into politics and activism. I gotta tell you, it's just not. You remember like the desktop revolution when we used to have graphic designers in a studio with tables, and I'm saying a lot of old school graphic designers like, I'm not sitting at a computer. Like, I have to use my hands. I have to be tactile to create the true art. And it's like, okay, sorry, feel that way. Bye. Right. And now it's like, I like to make CG stuff, but I love to be on set. And just, I'm telling you, just the human experiential process of just sitting there and writing a text prompt and then waiting for it to come out. And then, that's not quite right. Let me adjust this word. And then like, that is a totally, that's like a fish riding a bicycle. It's like a completely different process of what I've spent my life doing and enjoying. So it's like the motivation to sit at a computer and just type that phrase. Let me alter that word from yellow to beige, and then I'm just sitting there like looking at my wall. It's like I feel dead inside. That's why I'm not like super excited about it.
No, I'm just asking because I'm curious what people, because I know you don't reject AI in general. You've used it. I've seen stuff that you've done with it. So it's just interesting to hear you say that for humanity, it's not a bad thing, but for you personally, it is.
For the filmmaking industry, it's a complete extinction level event. But for humanity, it's democratized. It means everyone. I mean, I truly believe like the Black Mirror idea, like not next year, but there's going to be a point where you sit down on Netflix and you bring up a thing and you're like, or you just talking to your Netflix, your remote, and you just say, I want to watch a movie starring Scarlett Johansson and John Wayne taking place on the moon, and it's an action comedy that's an hour, 45 minutes. And it's as if it's directed by Spielberg and DP'd by Janusz Kaminski.
Wow, that's so weird, all these names.
No, and you're going to be like, okay, and let me watch it. And then it's like, there's a progress bar, and then 10 seconds later you start watching your film because it writes the script and then just starts rendering it. That's already technology.
That's already happening. Yeah.
So why and then I get the joy of like, I made this. Like, this is only happening because of me, these variables. And then I feel this ownership and this giddiness. And that's great for humanity. It's just bad for the Hollywood industry.
Yeah. I don't know if I think Hollywood's dying. I might disagree with you there. I think it's changing. I think it's going to be something different. I don't know what it turns into, but I don't like that you might be right. But that tends to be how we usually interact anyway. Wait, we should first tell people we worked for a company that did motion graphics, right?
We
and
worked
live
for a
action.
company. There was once a company called Fuel. This is in the year 2000. It was the dawn of the motion graphics golden age, where money was flowing and ideas were flowing and anything went, and social mores were much looser. And then this one company broke up into like 5 different highly successful, influential motion graphics companies when each person left to start their own company. One of them was run by a then 23-year-old.
We don't need to say his name, but I'll bleep it out. It's okay. Yeah. But 23-year-old, right? Blah, blah. Was he 23 years old? I guess he was that young. Yeah.
So we met, and
I don't remember actually meeting you though.
Well, I
know you were there, but I don't remember
the moment I shook your hand.
I don't think we shook hands. But were you at the original office in Abbott Kinney?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
I was freelance, but yes.
Yeah, no, you were always freelance. You never took him up on any offers or whatever, right? Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, no, so I was just asking about that. I was just because people. I always like people to know how I meet people.
And I think we probably hit it off a little bit more than the next guy because I was technically old because I was 28.
You were old,
and so there was a clear difference in my vibe than from all these like 22, 23-year-olds.
Yeah, because I think I was more. I mean, I was like the mother of the office. There weren't that many women. It was like me and Angela. Like when I showed up, Angela was the only other girl in the office. You know what I mean? And so I think that was a big deal. But I was also pretty quiet because I was pretty busy. Because once he fired some guy, I took over, and so I had to learn it all really quick. But so for that, it was a good experience. But I remember you more from because all the girls used to talk about you all the time. So all the people.
Well, no, we know that's not true because you literally just said there were no women in the office.
I know, but there were because then we had so young, like when we started hiring people. So, and when we moved over to Euclid, we did have more people. But you were like a shy guy, even at brand new school, like Joel. Oh my God. So you think, okay, so how did you react in that situation then?
I enjoyed it.
What do you mean you enjoyed it? So you went out with them?
No,
took up dates?
I actually regret not going out with some of them because I was so focused on just having a job.
That's my point. Like that's exactly my point.
I didn't want to be unprofessional and get fired.
I know, but that's my point. Other people would take the risk and do it, and they have.
Well, I wasn't shy. I just didn't get physical.
I don't think you realize that you come across as being very shy and very quiet. At least back in the day, you do. You came across that way, but you seem to describe it more as maturity and professionalism. So that's fair. I thought no one in that office was very professional. I spent a lot of my time at that first company that we met at, putting out fires consistently on a regular basis. Not that was supposed to be my job, but that so many people, it's so funny how you described it earlier, but to me, it was an unhinged place that didn't understand professionalism and didn't understand how easily certain people could be sued for saying certain things. And I think I talked to you about that before, about the C word being thrown around and women being treated. Do you remember there was a bachelor party that was held at do you remember that at the Euclid?
I don't remember.
Space.
But I'm agreeing with you that I was professional.
They brought in strippers. Let me just tell you, they brought in a stripper who was stripping a lot. And I had to pull one of the few women who was dancing with her as the guys were egging them on. You just showed me a picture of one of the women I'm talking about. I had to pull her away and say, absolute not, and throw her into my office.
What was she going to do?
She was dancing with the stripper, the woman stripper, as the guy. And I was like,
"You're going to start disrobing too?"
I didn't let it happen.
Wow.
It was an unhinged place.
Yeah. I was not part of all that because I was professional.
I don't think you were. I don't remember who was there. I know who it was for.
No, I'm saying just anything like that. Again, if you want to call it shy or whatnot, I just would limit my vocabulary and whatnot.
No, I'm saying that's how it came across, as if you were shy and kind of. But I like what you said.
It was not a professional place.
It was not a professional place at all, and it never became a professional place.
And I mean, at that time, that suited it very well creatively as well.
And it was doing well. I mean, it was definitely bringing in so much money, right? We were bringing in tons of money at that point, and it was. But for people like me, yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot because of that situation. But I also don't think you need to learn a lot through harm or through negativity or through bad experiences. I don't think that's the way it has to be, but I did gain that from that. But yeah, I think that's why I don't talk to so many people from there at all. I don't have much respect for a lot of people that worked there and participated in a lot of, even though I think a lot of people were geniuses in their own right. You know what I mean? But yeah. And if I could do it all over again, I would have never taken the job. I thought of that the other day. I would have walked away. I wish I had, because I think I still have a bitter taste in my mouth about that place, which is weird, right? I don't know. Okay, I have some other questions. I did not know, and don't be mad at me, I did not know how many awards you've won because of I didn't realize you won Emmys. When did that happen? Was I around?
No, I won most of. No, I won the Emmy in like 2018.
Oh, so it was way after the fact. Yeah. Okay, I wasn't in touch with you. I was like, I don't remember that happening. Let me see. You've been a director and creative director for over 20 years. You're here in California. Your background is in animation and visual effects with a strong emphasis on storytelling through motion graphics. Oh no, motion design. Sorry. You've won Emmys, Tellys. What's FWA?
That's a
web. You've been featured on South by Southwest. What?
FWA is more web-based, like microsite, like the web award.
You describe yourself as thriving at the intersection of story, motion design, and visual effects. Is that true?
Yeah, it's freaking true as fuck.
Okay, we'll talk about it. You love leading teams both on live action sets and in post-production, but you just said that. Are you known for saying, when in doubt, flare it out? What does that mean?
That means like when it's for motion graphics and compositing, if something's not quite looking right, just add a flare. Like a J.J. Abrams flare.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And it gives it that extra.
Okay, got it. Always have a joke book handy? No. Is that true? Oh, no. What's your favorite joke?
Would you like me to read one?
You have to read it? Okay.
It's a joke book. A man goes to a psychiatrist and says, "Doc, my brother's crazy. He thinks he's a chicken." The doctor says, "Why don't you turn him in?" The guy says, "We would, but we need the eggs."
See, those are dorky things. Okay.
I have some go-to jokes that have served me well in life.
That's okay. Well, I'm good.
No, but I have, like, depending on the audience, I have some really good ones that will win people over.
But you've already won me over, so does it really matter? Okay, look it. I love this. I love that you say this. We are all interns. I do love that. Yeah. Is that something you say or not true? This is a Google search.
Well, I mean, that's my
AI mode.
You're reading my LinkedIn profile, but
I'm not. They are.
Yeah, no, it just means be humble.
Like, no, I love that. Yeah. That's my favorite.
And it also means we're all, if we're, and not just creatively, but in any line of life, we should always strive to be learning. And if we're always learning something, that means we're always taking on something we're ignorant about, which means if we're always pursuing knowledge, then we're always an intern in some aspect of our life.
I love it. I think it's a simple line with a lot of depth. That should be your signature line. Okay. You ready for some? I'm ready. For some lightning round questions?
I love lightning round.
Okay. I don't have that many though. I just did like.
All right.
All right. Wait, what's your favorite?
Lightning.
Okay. You're such a dork. I think that's what I love about you. You are such a dork.
Lightning round.
Yeah. I just want you to know that when I edit, I'll be deleting all of that.
So. Oh no, that was amazing.
I'm just kidding.
Lightning round.
Seriously. Okay. What's your favorite curse word?
I mean, fuck.
Okay. What's a film you wish you directed?
Oh, that's an interesting way you phrase it because there's my favorite movies, but I didn't wish I directed it. I can tell you the movies I want to direct that I won't. That's easier, but
Okay.
like
I don't even know what that means. You
it means
want
I
to
want to
direct?
do a sequel spinoff to Back to the Future where it happens now and goes back to like 95, basically right as the internet is starting.
Oh, that's a great
And
idea.
it's in 90s, so you can bring in like all the 90s grunge and just compare the mentality of the, Yahoo and pets.com and just that world of the late 90s and no concept of what an iPhone is, or they
Yeah.
still had glass
We had
steagall.
pagers. Didn't we have pagers and stuff? Like
Yeah,
that
we
was
had barely had pagers. We had
pager.
pagers, barely had cell phones.
Yeah.
Like that was back, I was a PA in the late 90s, and we would charge on our invoice how many minutes of cell phone time we
My
used
God,
to get
that's so
reimbursed.
weird. That's so
And it's
weird.
like it was pre 9/11, so
Yeah.
like security at airports, like there's all this stuff that
Yeah.
like a kid from now, like Marty McFly's grandson or whatever. So that's like one movie I would love to make direct. And I have another one that actually I love so much. I'm not gonna say
You're not
publicly.
gonna say it. Okay, fair.
I think I've told it to you privately, but
Yeah, that's okay. I won't share. I
there
got
are
you.
some movies like I would have loved to direct the 8th episode of Star Wars, the one that completely went off the rails.
I'm not a Star Wars person,
Well,
so
there's your answer. I would have liked to do. I
I
forgot
saw the first three, the original first three,
the
and
one
then I
that
saw the one. I saw the one with Harrison Ford and
when he's
uh,
older.
yeah, and Leia.
That was the Force Awakens. I would have liked to direct the one after that. That to me
Okay, yeah,
was
I didn't see the one after that. Okay, yeah, I'm kind of an originalist when it comes to Star Wars. I don't know. I'm more of a Star Trek fan. Did you know that?
I
don't know
didn't.
if you knew
That's
that.
really cool. That's
I'm a
good.
Star Trek person. I'm not a Star Wars fan, and there is a difference. Okay, what's a protest sign you still remember? One that you made or one that you saw?
Uh, the an interesting one is because I've learned a lot about protesting. I've never really. I did like the Iraq War protest in 2003, but never saw much use of protesting. I think it is very useful now, and so I've learned a lot. I've learned what I learned keep it to like 3 words, make them as bold lettering possible. There's a difference between protest signs when you're on the street versus in a march. Like if you're in a march, you can have like a bunch of words and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but the one I really thought was just awesome, and I didn't make it up, was it took the Tesla logo, which is like the T,
Mm-hmm.
it turned it upside down, and it looks like a Ku Klux Klan hat, and
Oh, I
the
saw
word
that.
the
Yeah.
word was Ku Klux Klan, and it's Coup.
Yeah.
And so it was calling Tesla white nationalist, like racist, which is,
Well,
Musk.
you hate Tesla and Elon Musk a lot.
Well, I liked it because it took the logo and completely, literally inverted it into a Klan hat, and then used the word coup, which our country's under a coup, and then it added the racism. So and it was like really popular. People loved it, and I just left holding it for like 2 months. And then at a certain point, I was like, the narrative had shifted, so I don't hold it anymore.
Yeah, but I love that you protest all the time. I mean, you pretty much do it weekly if you need to. You're out there.
I organize. I'm the leader of a weekly protest, of 2 weekly protests.
Okay. Let me see. What's your comfort food after a long shoot?
You can't go wrong with a burrito.
Okay.
Oh, but I also love street dogs after like a concert.
Oh, is that like a hot dog?
Yeah, the dudes with the carts and they're.
Oh yeah, no, I don't eat hot dogs. Even when I was a little kid, I do not do hot dogs. Okay. What moment do you wish you could relive just once?
I mean, I don't. I'm assuming I took that to mean if I could do it differently. Not it was just a wonderful thing I'd like to re-experience.
However you want to interpret. There's no rules here.
I know. I'm just explaining. I went kind of to the negative.
Don't go to the negative. Be positive.
Well, no, I got to speak my truth.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. You're right. Go ahead.
I don't have many regrets in life after age like 18 or 19 because I had some series of things that happened where I realized the angst and pain I feel of not having of not remedying the situation for better or for worse through action or inaction eats at me so much that I have to take action.
Right.
So my regrets in my formative years was this is like trying not lightning round question, but I was at a summer camp. It was like a 3 or 4 week sessions. I loved the camp. And I was finally the oldest bunk, so I was probably like 13. I told a story like the first day of camp when we're all like getting shots at the infirmary or something. And when I was in the youngest bunk, we played strip poker. And so we're like 6, 7-year-olds. And it was just like a funny story. And all the guys they decided to take it in and they started calling me gay. And there's nothing wrong with being gay, but when you're not gay.
No, you're talking about a little kid and you're talking about a different time.
But when I'm not gay and I'm 13 and they were just making fun of me all the time. And I didn't know what to do. And it was so bad that my counselors were like, you should kick their ass. Like even my counselors were like, sometimes you have to. And I'm not. Because
they were bullying you. That's what.
Yeah. And then I was refereeing. I was scorekeeping. There was a basketball tournament, and I was focusing on that. And I heard laughing. I thought I may have heard my name, and it was the basketball courts by the tennis court.
Yeah.
It's a summer camp out in the Texas Hill Country, and I look, and there's like the bull. It's like from a teen movie. The dudes who are like bullying me are with some girls and they're all laughing. And that moment has just stuck out with me for my whole life. And all I did was I pulled in and got self-hating, angry. And what I wish I did is I went over there and beat the shit out of him.
I think that's fair enough.
And the reason I didn't is because I would have been kicked out of camp and my parents would have thrown me into therapy, which was like,
I never thought you were such a rule follower. It's so interesting.
This pivotal moment, like when you break down the layers, there's so many things about my relationship with my parents and just so much like deep stuff. But just the idea of not standing up for myself and not asserting my own agency. I had a recent experience. I was playing on a basketball team for the first time in 15 years this year on a rec league. And I'm not as good as I was because I can't jump anymore. And I accept that, but I'm still good. And there's guys who are like in their 20s on the team and they can move better. So I'm fine. Like that. But I want to play. And I went in the second half expecting to play like at least half the half. And after a few minutes, they were subbing me out. And I got really angry. And I got angry at the guy subbing me out first. And I at first was just holding it all inside because like I don't want to cause a scene on a rec league team.
Okay.
And then after the game, I went up to him and I was like, I don't remember. I said to the effect of, next time, like, don't fucking pull me out so quick. Like, what the fuck? And then he's like, and then I realized it wasn't necessarily like our best player would sub people in and out. Anyway, because I've been doing a lot of work on myself too. And I just like, what is the proper way to handle this? Because like, I was like, I'm getting mad at that dude he's not as good as me. And I just was like, so moving forward on the team, what I did when I checked into the game, I was like, hey, I'm going to play for 7 minutes. Look for me after like at the whatever time mark, and I'll let you know if I'm ready to come out. And I'm not going to come out until then. And so I asserted. I took leadership. Right. I said, here's how it's going to be. And it worked that way. And then in our championship game, they tried to sub me out again. And I had just been only playing for 2 minutes. And I had a steal and 2 rebounds already. I was playing really well.
Okay.
And they were trying to take me out. I was like, no. I said, no, I'm playing great. Like, I'm going to play for 3 more minutes. And just to like be confrontational like that.
Right.
But also keeping it civil is like a real skill because you can be like, what the fuck, you motherfucker? Like a lot of guys go right there. Right. I kept it like civil and mature, but I was being very strong in what I was going to do. So. Did
they let you play?
Yeah, I wasn't because I was like, I'm not coming out. Sit down.
Okay, cool. Okay. Awesome. I love that you're working on yourself. I think that's a good thing. Okay, what's a sound that soothes you instantly? If you don't have one, you don't have one.
I would say the sound of my child sleeping.
Ah, that's sweet. Okay. I was hoping you'd say something more controversial. Okay. What's a book that changed your mind?
Oh man, there's so many.
Nope, a book.
I've read a
Okay.
lot of parenting books, and most of them are just, they state the obvious. But there's a book called How to Talk So Kids Will Listen and Listen So Kids Will Talk. I think is required reading for everyone, whether you have kids or not.
Okay, fair enough. What is your favorite movie?
Delicatessen, 1993. It's a
Who's in it?
It's a French movie.
I don't know it.
Like, do you know the movie Amelie?
Yes, not my favorite.
Well, I loved it. They and the City of Lost Children, the guys who made those movies, it was their earlier movie.
Okay. What's a scene you've watched 100 times and still feel something?
Well, again, there's many like that, but I will say
One.
The Martian by Ridley Scott.
Oh, okay, for sure.
There's a montage sequence in the middle where they're like meeting with the Chinese and building the rockets, and it's just all montage to a David Bowie song. I've literally written out every shot like on a text document.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow. What's something you would ask me if this were your show? Ha 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 ha.
If this was my show,
or you could ask me anything because I get to decide whether we keep it or not. So go ahead.
This is my show, and I was talking to the esteemed Carmen Lizette.
Yeah, Carmen Lisette.
I would be like, what is your, it doesn't have to be precise, but like, what is your, like, if you have like a 2 or 3 year plan for all the work you're putting into your podcast, what, like a metric of success, as well as how you would know you're making a difference?
I think I'm already making a difference, and I do not have a plan, and I'm doing it because I love meeting people, talking to people, and having a place to have some sort of creativity. I've also learned a lot. I cannot express how much respect I have for editors. And I'm, of course, not even pretending I'm editing in any level whatsoever as film does or any of these other people, but just editing my own audio or my own video on my own little tools that I have has been an incredible learning curve. And I now have a different love of the art of film that I don't think I would have ever had before, because I understand now editing on a different level and audio and lighting. And so in that sense, it's been really great. So I'm surprised by how much success we've had, and I wasn't trying. So,
but my question is, what metrics do you define success?
Well, there's different ones, right? There's audience for the podcast. There's audience for the videos. There's feedback from people. We get a lot of emails. I've had a couple people tell me that they're so grateful that I said A, B, C, and D. I've had 4 Trump supporters tell me that they know they made a mistake and that they've changed their mind. I think that is crazy on so many levels, like just crazy. And that's not just from the current show that me and Andrea are doing. That's just over all this time, right? So for me, that's huge. I also measure success, and people who watch the show on Friday nights know this. We get so many people who hate us. Because there's so much engagement, you know what I mean? So you can see like who likes you, whatever, it's your friends or blah, 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 or people who follow you. Okay, great. And I'm very appreciative. But the amount of people who hate what we're doing, especially Culture and Consequence, which is the political show, or anytime we talk about politics, we get a lot more people who like us, but a lot more people who hate us too. And that's also a measure. I think the minute I start making this about something other than what its intention was, it's going to lose its like what I love about it, because it's already a lot of work. I'm spending at least 40 hours a week on this show, right? At least. And I don't really have a lot of help. I don't have, I have people who come on the show on a regular basis, but I don't have people who are doing editing. I'm not paying people to do anything, So, but I think the minute it starts becoming something like that don't get me wrong. If I had the money, I would hire people to help me. Do you know what I mean? But I don't want to lose why I'm doing it. But I think the minute you start having a team and all this stuff, I think maybe you lose something. So I don't know. I'm open to it because I would love to be able to make an income, doing this. And when you talk about AI, and I think about AI, I think about what it is that I can bring to the table because it is changing. Everybody's industry is changing. I don't want to see it as dying, though I don't think you're wrong. But I like to look at it, in a more positive light to figure out what I can bring to the table as well and contribute. And I think part of it will be my personality, my ability to interview, my ability to bring people together, and my ability to kind of have these conversations.
Excellent.
Thank you, Joel.
I have an editing thing that might speed up your editing drastically, but I can tell you after.
Yeah, it's cool. All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you stopping by as always. You'll have to come by again with the group if you ever want to, and we can.
I always want to.
You're always welcome to come.
I feel like this is probably a normal response to people who are interviewed. Is I always feel like I completely didn't give you what you wanted.
Oh my God. I think you think too much. I adore you, but you're one of the few people. I think most people don't think enough. I'm being honest. Most people have no ability to kind of just think things through and say things, but you're one of these people I think that thinks way too much. And then you gave me everything I need. Everything.
Oh, sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyways, everyone, thank you so much. Remember, at the end of the day, it really is all about the joy. Thank you, Joel. Bye. But don't log off. Oh my God. I'm so cutting all that out. We'll see how my editing skills are.
Why do you cut it out?
I don't know. Thanks for stopping by. All about the joy. Be better and stay beautiful, folks. Have a sweet day.